Good evening and welcome to another live show with Green TV and the Pat Foundation. I'm Gail Acaster and tonight I'm joined by a very special guest, Mark West, who's actually joined the Green Task Force, which we will talk about in just one moment. So first of all, welcome Mark, how are you? And you're actually up here in Hull. You're up here in Hull, aren't you? It's not Hull, it's Hull.
Yeah, I'm relatively on home turf, which is a nice surprise. Obviously, with the existing Preston site projects and the East Riding and Humberside area, and being from around this area, it's given me a great excuse to sort of revisit and work alongside and pick up some transferable skills and insight into an existing project, and then transfer those across to Warrington.
To the Merseyside. You've got, I must admit, your officers are absolutely amazing. It's like set in a log cabin in the, it's like something out of Canada. It's I shall definitely paying a visit over there. So as I said before, viewers, Mark West has joined us as regional coordinator for the Green Task Force over in Merseyside. So what we're doing here in Preston near Hull is obviously what he's going to be doing over there, as the guys are doing in Wales, and then obviously in Scotland, and rolling the programme out all over. So firstly, obviously I had a little hand in the recruitment process in you coming on board with my other hat, my GA recruitment hat. So tell us why you joined the Green Task Force, Mark, what it was that attracted you to the guys.
Well, firstly, I was in that mindset of looking for something different. And I guess I felt like a little bit of a lost soul in the job role that I was in. I'm actually left the police force. And for me, I didn't join the police in any anticipation whatsoever that it would be the military-esque type lifestyle that I was used to. But I knew there would be snippets. But for me, I didn't feel like it was giving me what I needed, and I didn't feel comfortable in terms of a long-term career. So it put me in that mindset to look out. I had lots of options, and I didn't really commit. I committed to this. I applied for this caretaker's job up in some random island in Scotland, and I hope I get it. It'd just be me, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't get that, to be fair. But yeah, so Green Task Force popped up on the Ops Spartan online veteran community page, and I just read the job description.
My ad, wasn't it? It was my ad.
Yeah. I think I've tried to find out. I've tried to go back and look, but I can't find it. But I think I replied within like 60 seconds of the post.
Yeah, and you sent an email just to doubly check.
I just saw it, read it, and I just thought, wow, that has just caught my attention straight away, because it just seemed to just rekindle everything that I remember, one as a child, two as a young adult trying to find work in the hunting and shooting scene, working as a gamekeeper at Harewood House. And it just felt like it just rekindled and opened an old door, which I would love to have gone back to. And at that particular point, I just sort of chanced my arm and just thought, right, okay, well, why not? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And it clearly was meant to be, you know. Yeah, I went through that application, and here I am now.
Absolutely, you was very well. It was a very good fit. So you're ex-forces, Mark. So tell our viewers what ex-forces, and I'll hold back with the jokes because they've already. I'm learning as I go along. I've spent a year now with these guys, so I'm well versed in all the little banter and the chitter chatter. So yes, tell everybody obviously your background in the forces.
Yeah, well, my background really, as I've already alluded to, is that of a short-term police officer. However, prior to that, I started my uniform career as a firefighter, where I served 3 years for North Yorkshire Fire and Rescue. I then pursued a burning aspiration to be in the military, as I had that as a young child. And I pursued a career within the Royal Marines, where I served 7 glorious, short, sharp years, based at 42 Commando down in Plymouth, as a reconnaissance operator. deployed on 2 tours of Afghanistan, Eric 5 and Eric 9, both highly kinetic operations. So I've got some good stories and some bad stories. Yeah, it was an amazing career. In all fairness, looking at how the future commando force is rolling out now, I think if I could go back, I'd go back for this shot. I really would. But yeah, so left the Royal Marines in 2011 with distinguished service for bravery on the second tour that I did for casualty extraction incident that I was involved in. And yeah, it's really left a real strong imprint on my life. You know, I joined the military at 24 years of age, and I'd already developed who I was as an adult, unlike a lot of the young men and women that joined the military. So I already had this moral code of who I was and what I was about, and the Royal Marines just helped polish it off and just give me that chappy, side to it, and it really has made a lasting impression on everything and anything that I've ever done since.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had quite a little bit of story. We haven't actually got any pictures to show that would probably be good to show our viewers out there. But there was an actual story where, well, I'll let you tell more. But yeah, do tell us more about your kind of unfortunate, but on the same breath, that very amazing incident. So tell us a bit more about that, Mark.
Well, that could be one of many, but one that speaks to mind is I think it's a curse of having a fat head, I believe. So the lads seem to remind my helmet is larger than most. Curse. What can I say? However, yeah, I was had a ricocheted AK-47 round off the forehead, basically, onto my Mark 6 ballistic helmet. The AK-47 round penetrated the laser Kevlar, tunneled around the side, and then blew a hole out the side. And I remember being on my hands and knees, padding myself down. Classic movie scene. I've been shot. And once I came to terms with the fact that I hadn't been shot, but near miss, then as life was out there, then it was a case of reality check, back in the game, and back into what was a ferocious firefight. But yeah, it was a very, very hair-raising moment and a big reality check to how close, I can not be out there, how things can change.
Absolutely. I mean, I've touched on other shows, in terms of the things that you guys go through, out in the field. But, you've had quite an interest. You've been affected by it, and, you've come out the other side. So I'd like to, without going a little bit morbid, and, we're having quite a good, light-hearted chatter here, but you've got quite an important message, Matt. I've got to know you over the past couple of months, really, in the recruitment process, and, you've now on board. It'd be nice for you to share your message, and how you felt and how you worked through that. It'll be a very good message for other comrades, as you like, to listen to your story.
So thanks for that. I was diagnosed with PTSD in 2009 as a result of my actions. Well, not a result of my actions, sorry, of the events that I witnessed on the second tour I was in Afghanistan, where I was part of casualty extraction, which resulted in me being shot at very closely in the water with small arms fire landing around me, and then recovering what, sadly a deceased gentleman, which will remain nameless. And that whole process helped trigger underlying issues of trauma from the fire service of an incident that happened there. So I left the Royal Marines, went to sort of look to leave as a means to escape what I was going through, as a means to protect myself. Now, although I was diagnosed 2009, but I didn't leave till 2011. So I kind of fought through it tirelessly and exhausted myself trying to find the answers of how to move forward in such a dynamic career, and for me, and the way that operations were shaping in the future, I just felt that I had to preserve myself with what was left and get out.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
and look forward and try and build on my recovery. And I did, and I had the rapid eye movement, CBT, anchoring, and what have
Yeah.
you. And it made me realize a lot about myself. And talking to one of the individuals that helped me, and God bless him, it was a Sergeant Major Tony Moxham, who was very keen in physiotherapy, in psychotherapy down there. Sorry, and he helped sort of really touch base with what I'd gone through, because he had that previous experience, and being able to relate to someone other than sort of a civilian, a professional in the same field, really was the icing on the cake for me. And he really did get his hooks in and made me realize a lot about myself. But unfortunately, I'd already made that commitment too far. I was leaving the military. But he made me realize a lot about myself, and I took away a lot of skills from those few sessions of talking to someone who, one, understands me, what I'm about, who I am, and what I drive, what my drivers were.
Yeah.
So yeah, left the Royal Marines to sort of pursue a career in the private security world, where I was deemed fit. I went through the process of the Department of Mental Health for the military, and yeah, it was quite a turning point for me. It really was. But
Yeah, I can imagine.
moved on, embraced, managed to put it to bed, and feel very fortunate that I was blessed with a very mild spectrum of it. But yeah, hats out goes to those people that still suffer and have suffered worse. But I feel very fortunate to have come out with it like I have. Am I still affected now? I guess yes, I am a little bit, but I've managed to learn these skills along the way as I've still maturing as a 40-year-old bloke. I'm still learning every day about myself and how I think and react to things. And so it's I've learned a lot about myself, particularly in the last few years. And every day is a school day, and providing you work on yourself constantly, there's no reason why you can't push yourself forward and do.
Mark, that's my motto, totally. And, we've had several conversations on that fact. It's take each day. I think you've said pivotal. It's that one person that you just reach out and just communicate. It's this message you keep hammering home. It's, you're taught stiff upper lip and take it on the chin, and, you can't suppress these feelings. They need to come out. So, it's hands off to you. That I was going to say hats off to you, but you shot in your hat, weren't you? So that's probably not the best analogy. But there's other things up. But now let's touch on let's touch on in terms of the work side. So obviously you were looking for direction. Green Task Force ticks the boxes. So why do you? I've spoken on previous shows about military guys coming out of the forces and really struggling to transition into civilian life because it's just so different. They get no training, no coaching, no mentoring at all. So you struggled a little, obviously, to settle in, and it's probably safe to say, you could say, with the fire brigade and with the police, even though you would think that would be a natural transition. Just tell people out there, why you found it was maybe hard to not fit in, that there's anything wrong with you, but actually, get fulfillment from that you're obviously looking for within the Green Task Force.
Yeah, well, I don't think you realize and appreciate, if you've never done it, just how powerful that force field of banter and belonging is within the military service. It's its own therapy. It's like its own therapy. In its own right. And so to chase sort of. Well, to be fair, when I was sort of in the police, there is elements of belonging, but you all come from a different background, like you do in the military. But there's lots of experiences shared in the military which create that common bond, from drinking to fighting to being on operations and living the life of a soldier across the world and what have you. But yeah, it's yeah, a lot brings you together in the military, and then when you
Yeah,
leave that as a civilian, regardless of what work you do,
yeah,
social elements break off, and people go live the life. People get married, and before you know it, if you know you don't join the military with everyone that you went to school with. That no doubt lives
yeah,
local. You're joining from people from Liverpool, from Scotland, from wherever, and
yes,
all life. So when you go back to home, it's hard to reconnect with individuals that want to have lost that connection with you because you've developed as and you've grown as an adult in a totally new community, and to replicate that is impossible for an industry unless you've
yeah,
experienced it. So for Green Task Force, I think the initial draw for me was just simply working outside, and
yeah.
working with veterans. And now I'm here. Day one, I was embraced with the banter. Day one, I just a bit of a target. I don't know, but yeah, I was embraced by cat badge rivalry and what have you, and it felt like
Yeah,
brilliant, brilliant. You know what I mean? Just that warm feeling of that cutthroat banter. It just makes
yeah.
you welcoming, and yeah, amazing.
Like you was kind of thrown in the deep end because I think it was me that invited you along to the Himalayan balsam bashing. I was like, well, come up, but be with the lads, see what it's like. And I think you was well, I was in the back of the van with everybody. We travelled to, oh gosh, the back and beyond of somewhere, and it's hard work. I mean, people
Yeah,
don't actually realise pulling some weeds out that you think, oh, but doing that for a good 6-7 hours, it is quite hard slog. And it was
yeah,
funny. I think I learnt the term the crane muncher, which obviously the Marines will probably laugh and do this. So yeah, it was good, and for you, you called me on the night to say yeah, absolutely buzzing.
yeah,
It's like I think the term was it's like coming home. Come home,
yeah,
and that's kind of the sense that the
yeah,
camaraderie is what the Green Task Force is
yeah,
all about. It's being out in nature. It's doing work at, with a group of guys that you can really relate to. So and
yeah, of
and
course.
ladies, it's not just guys. So
Yeah,
so yeah,
boys and
it's brilliant. I'm super excited.
yeah, the boys and girls you work with in the military, when you go on operations or exercise, you always develop a strong bond.
Yeah,
But to bear in mind that I've come here and I don't know anybody. I've not
yeah,
served with anybody on operations or on exercises, and from all different walks of life, different cap badges, different fields of work, etc. But
yeah,
there's that one common bond, and that's service first and
yes,
foremost. That there is
yes,
this um, invisible unity that we have,
yeah,
the ability to sort of communicate with people that you don't know, but like you do know, and like some of the guys here already that I already feel like I've known them for years, which is you
yeah,
know it's that camaraderie of
yes.
belonging.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've witnessed that, and I've seen it myself. And me as a civilian, working alongside you guys, I suppose I cannot hammer home the message enough. So yeah, so that's work-wise, and thank you for sharing your story. And it's not easy opening up, and it's more and more, guys, girls like yourselves getting this message out. It's the power of communication. So tell me a bit more about you then, Mark. So what do you like to do in your spare time? In your spare time?
I've always been an outdoors child, right from being young. I grew up in the countryside, sort of from 6 years old, fairly isolated from friends. Family didn't have a car, and so I threw myself into the countryside as a young kid. Developing the I Spy books, the tree I Spy books, the I Spy birds. So I was a little
Oh,
bit of a spotter when I was a kid. Very very much. The
yeah.
school teacher used to ask me, Mark, what can you bring in this week for show and tell? Well,
Oh,
yeah, I've got like
wow.
ideas out there that I found, so I'm probably sure.
As
Back
long as
then.
you want any dead animals,
Yeah, I'm
dead
probably sure.
animals you'd shot.
Yeah, I'm probably sure back then they thought I were a bit weird, obviously, but yeah, it served me good justice and has kept me on the right path of being country focused, and so I love nothing more than getting in the mountains. That was something I loved before I joined the Royal Marines. I focused that skill and developed that skill
Yeah.
within the Royal Marines, within the troop that I was in, and I've carried that on.
Yeah.
I love nothing more than map to compass and getting out there and weirdly enough bracing the elements and feeling challenged by things out of my control.
Yeah.
Really, I thoroughly enjoy it. Camping, remote camping, kayaking, mountain
Yeah.
biking, anything outdoors where I can reconnect with the wind in my face. I don't mind getting wet. I don't mind getting cold, as long as it's for not long periods. And yeah, I love it. I'm not someone that likes to sort of sit inside and watch TV and film after
Mm.
film or anything like that. I'm very much sort of active based, outdoors. I like to read a lot. And I like to sort of focus on my own personal development and music. Music has been a massive one for me as well as
Yeah. Music's healing. Yeah.
massive. It's weird how certain tunes can drive emotions, and a beat, a tune, a song lyric, whatever. I found music was a key component as well
Yeah.
to getting outside as for my recovery. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Definitely.
outside, you name it, Scotland, the Lake District, Peak District. I take the odd group out
Be
here,
strong.
there, and everywhere now and again. But yeah, I love it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you on that. Walking and, I made a massive thing. Obviously, it goes hand in hand with what the Pat Foundation, planting trees, and COVID really made us reconnect with nature. It was kind of
Mm,
one of those
yeah.
blessings to come out of the storm, I guess. But so there's something on the music front then. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to really put you on the spot now. And I've got to be mindful that I don't ask you anything too embarrassing that obviously the guys watching this tonight will be like, oh, Mark, So song then, we talked about music and it is really healing. And, I have music that I relax to. I have music that when you're going for a night out and you want to get sort of in the party mode. And then there's music where you've had a bad day and you're angry. So, you hammer those heavy metal tunes. And yes, viewers, I do listen to heavy metal tunes. And it's kind of, so what's a song that would, you're having a bit of a lull, you need a bit of a pick me up. What's your go-to tune?
Well, I think I've got such a varied mix of genres and music that's all thought provoking
Oh,
and
genre, very good word.
nostalgic. So like I was a big fan of AC/DC for many years growing up. My uncle,
Yes.
hammered it
Yeah.
home, AC/DC, and yeah. So I don't know. I always remember like the lads when they were doing their operational videos, like memorial videos. 9 times out of 10, it was either an AC/DC
Yeah.
video or a Linkin Park tune. So
Yeah.
yeah, so very
Yeah.
thought-provoking music and takes me back massively in a good sense. So stuff like that can really get the hairs on my arms going again and get me sort of
Mm.
excitable. But in terms of relaxing, I really am drawn to simple piano music, classic music, folk music, anything that's got just a nice melody, and that's
Wow. Yeah.
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 So yeah.
Oh, that I'm with you on that one. It's actually I was in my mum's stomach when she went. I think she was 6 months pregnant and went to the AC/DC concert where Bon Scott was the singer. So I'm kind of giving my age away a little bit there. And they tried everything to get me to sleep, like the usual standards. And then one day they were playing. I think it was Highway to Hell. So a lovely lullaby for a baby. And that sent me to sleep. So that was actually my lullaby tune. So maybe, yeah. So maybe that's where the rock heritage comes in with me. But
Wow.
yes, it's funny. It's music. It's the beat. It's primeval, isn't it? And that's what gets us humans going. So, oh well, thanks for sharing. That could have gone one or two ways. You could have said take that. No offense to
Yeah,
take
I
that
didn't want
fans,
to.
but
There's too many
yeah.
manholes.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to get some stick for this, Mark. So yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, welcome aboard. It's going to be an absolutely exciting journey. You've got lots of work to do, and it's you're wanting to do things out in nature as well. I know you've already expressed interest in, doing certain hikes and things with veterans. So there's lots to do, and you're going to make a massive difference to the team, and everybody's really super excited. So thanks for sharing your story, and our message to people, your fellow comrades out there that are suffering. What would be the biggest? Obviously, we've said reach out and communicate, but what would be the first step for them to sort of, realize, actually, I need help here? What would be your message for them, Mark?
I think personally, like for me, I had to sort of look back and focus on who I am and what I'm about, and how have I got here in the first place. I achieved a great amount of success in terms of career and what have you, and I had to sort of realize, how have I got here? My own drive, my own tenacity to sort of succeed and do well, and I just needed to rekindle with that. So I think for me, anything I could say to anybody, and I know it's hard, I do know it's hard, just try and reignite that energy of who you are. Try and remember what you're about, and just remember, you've achieved a hell of a lot to date, and there's no reason why you can't achieve a hell of a lot from now on. But yeah, rekindle that spirit as to who you are and how you got there in the first place. Definitely.
That's really wise words. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. There's plenty of bad in the world, and try and focus on that one good thing. So, massively agree. Well, thanks ever so much for coming on the show. I know you've got a big drive back, so I'll let you go back to work tomorrow. But I think you're down in Merseyside, aren't you? So back in your neck of the woods. So good luck with that. Safe travel back. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for the continued support. Green TV is doing so well. We're sponsored by the Green Task Force as well, our guys. So it's really nice, and the support. So thanks ever so much. It's bye from me, Gail Acaster, and bye from Mark West. Bye for now.